Bon dia, good morning, and welcome to the Rio Pro. There's potential to run a complete day of competition. We might not even stop until the sun goes down. Backflip rotation and pulls it off. A huge upset from Silva. Matty Wilkinson out of the contest. Wilson's out as well. And Dino's out. Coming up next, it's women's round 4 with Keely Andrew and Amelia Manuel. Bon dia and welcome back to Postinho here for the Rio Pro, and welcome for Dawn Patrol early on Sunday morning here for the 4th stop of the Samsung Galaxy Championship Tour. Hi, I'm Joe Turpel alongside 89 world champ Martin Potter. Morning, Potts.
Morning, Joe.
Strider Wazalewski, pipe legend. How you doing, Stride?
I'm absolutely amazing.
Another nice morning here as we're checking the conditions. Yesterday was obviously a massive day, and we've got a big show for you early this morning. We're really going to focus the guys on the bottom side of the draw, guys that are expected to do really well, and they're kind of sitting on the back of the rankings. Also doing that for the women as well. We're going to be coming into the mid part of the season really in a must-win situation, and then we'll dive into the heats to watch. We'll get the official call and see if we're going to be running straight away this morning here on Sunday at Barra da Tijuca. Yesterday, boys, it was really interesting to focus on the guys with world title campaigns underway. The big focus on a guy named Matt Wilkinson. He made the semifinal here in the past. This is where he was really expected to even make more room on the Jeep leaderboard, and something happened and he went down, Potts.
Yeah, he did. One little mistake, letting that wave go. But, in the end of the day, he was surfing good. He was dropping good scores, but just one little glitch. And at this level, I mean, that's all it takes to lose.
As we saw his decision-making, he thought he surfed a great heat. He actually did. Everything was going right. Couple big backside hangers. Got himself the lead, and then ended up making a mistake with priority, Strider.
He did. He actually made 2 because his opponent caught both of his scoring rides under priority. So, he gave up the one wave where he got the 6.5, where he turned that small wave, this one, into a score by doing errors like this. And then, he backed it up on another one. The next wave was a bigger wave, a cleaner wave with blue water right here. And then he took to the air again and then followed it up with a nice carve. So, you know what? I'm calling it 2 mistakes from the Jeep leader, and unfortunately, he's bummed.
Yeah, I don't know. That was a tough one to swallow. I felt like I surfed a really smart heat, and I gave him 2 4s that he turned into a 6 and an 8. So that last little wave that he took off on, I was right there, and I had to make a decision. There was long enough for 2 more waves behind it, and I wasn't going to use priority on a 4 just in case a good wave was behind it, which the one I took off on right on the hooter was a lot better than the wave I gave away. So yeah, that air he did was sick, and I think if I made that decision 10 times it was probably the right decision, 8 times out of 10, so it's tough to swallow, but it's life.
Tough one there for Matty Wilkinson as he looks back at the decision-making process that took him out of the Rio Pro. Still world number 1 on top of the Jeep leaderboard. Now Seabass with an opportunity to gain some ground. Italo Ferreira was the standout on opening day, and he can really catch up to Wilko at this event since Italo made the final series last season, Potts.
Yeah, Seabass as well. I mean, Sebastian's surfing really well, round 2 heats, but he's back on track, and we're still waiting for Italo to come back in the water. That round 1 performance from him, though, was absolutely amazing. I mean, some of the surfing he was doing in closeout conditions, he was dropping 9-point rides on 2 solid turns, so he's looking dangerous.
Italo's been the guy that's taken the role of Medina, of freestyling and getting multiple 8s and really blowing up. But then we saw Medina kind of play his role just yesterday when he just shocked the crowd, multiple airs, including the first backflip ever done in history. Went down at Postinho yesterday, Strider.
Yeah, I was a little worried. Round 2 heat, we haven't seen much out of him. But then he got on this roll, and once he started, the vibe was on. He felt the energy. He was going down the line. Boom, another beautiful rotation right there. Whipping out of it, feeling good, and then this went down. First ever backflip in competition, grabbing, slamming, comes out with the claim. And you know what? It was just such a mean flow through the end of that thing, and I just hope he continues to pounce those things all the way through the event.
Easy, perfect 10 for the panel. They didn't have to hesitate at any point. Once he landed that, we saw 10s flood the screen. It was a groundbreaking moment. And Potts, we started thinking about other rotations that were really monumental. The rodeo flip, Pakadauskas dropped in Maldives and in Tahiti. This backflip might even be pushing that a little bit higher since it's never been done before. And the difficulty factor, is that the hardest thing you could do?
Yes. I mean, that was insane. Under pressure in round 2 as well. I mean, you've got to think about the gravity of that situation. Had he not completed that, I think it was that first air that he did. He got a 9.4, and you could just see his confidence went through the roof. He dropped an 8 right after that, and then a 10. One of the quickest 10s I think I've ever seen. So, for me right now, that is probably the best aerial maneuver I've seen in competitive surfing.
Only a few guys in the sport have ever even come close to it. Medina's version's stellar. Timmy Curran tried back in the day, and also Flynn Novak with a radical version that he threw down in Hawaii. Now it's time to get the official call to see if we'll get underway this morning. Big good morning and aloha to Kaipo Guerrero with Deputy Commissioner Jesse Miley-Dyer.
Aloha, Joe. Yeah, I'm here with Deputy Commissioner Jesse Miley-Dyer for today's call, Jesse.
Yeah, it's actually still looking really nice this morning, so we are going to go straight into the women's round 4. I still have those 2 heats in the round, starting at 7:30. I'm also going to go straight into the quarterfinals, and then, with luck, conditions permitting, we will be finishing the women today, but that's not a definite at the moment.
Well, look forward to it. The women are on. Back to you, Joe.
Great to hear the news. Kaipo Guerrero, Jesse Miley-Dyer not wasting any time early this morning. We're going to finish round 4, get into the quarterfinals, and see how far we can get underway today. Coming up next on Dawn Patrol, we'll talk about the surfers that need some big results here in the midpoint of the season.
Out here, why don't you come? We are here at Barra da Tijuca in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. It's a pretty cool place, you know, it's a big city with a pretty mellow beach, and yeah, it's a fun way to surf. The wave is a beach break and it breaks everywhere, so it's pretty hard to predict where the wave is gonna break, and it's a pretty quick wave, which makes our job even harder, you know, to fit a couple fast turns or even just one big move. The major thing is the wind. You know, it's always hard to get the right wind. You know, every day changes, so you gotta be ready for everything. This wave down here, you have to, you know, like, don't think about the whole wave. You just have to think about, all right, first turn. Now I have more time, like second turn, like something like that. And for sure, a big move will get the biggest points. It's a peaky wave. It's like some A-frames coming all over the beach, and which makes you know, even harder because sometimes you like trying to get barrel or do turns, like, but it's a fun wave, and definitely like everyone can get a good score in any second. Surf here in Brazil, has a little bit of pressure, you know, because all the crowd is pretty crazy, you know. They always go like, yeah, you have to win, like, we're here to watch you, and that gives you a little bit of pressure, but at the same time you really want to perform in front of your country, and they're really going to support you. That's amazing, you know, like how crazy they are, how they're definitely the loudest and the craziest.
Thank you, Miguel Pupo, for your version of the GoPro breakdown. As we turn around and look at this steep mountain right behind Postinho, we have somebody that just climbed to the top to see the sunrise first thing in the morning. It's a gradual walk at the beginning. It gets very steep through that section. It's been raining a little bit. Pretty radical. Got to the top of that thing this morning.
Yeah, I'm scared of heights. I wouldn't do that.
Well, the thing is, we talked to Pupo during that GoPro breakdown. He's comfortable surfing here at Postinho. He likes the setup and the feel, but he's one of those guys we're going to focus on in this segment because he is in need of a big result. This guy came on as an exciting rookie alongside Gabriel Medina, John Florence. He had key results since last season. He started sliding a little bit, and maybe last year for the first time, he was really worried about requalification pots.
Yeah, you know, last year starting with a semi-final on the Gold Coast, and then, as you said, had a slippery slope. But, you know, just an amazing surfer, and that's just a testament of how hard and how difficult it is on the World Tour these days to be successful. It doesn't just take good surfing. There's so much more involved. But I love the way Miguel Pupo surfs. I think he's going to be around for a while. I think he's just going through a little bit of a stage right now. Maybe it's boards, maybe it's a bit of headspace that he's got to work on, but I think he's got the surfing.
He has got a lethal backhand, and he was able to get past Buchan. He's into round 3 at the Rio Pro. Jeremy Flores won the Billabong Pro Tahiti last season. He was on this comeback trail, but he hasn't got past round 3 this season. What's going on, Strider?
He's just had tough luck. He's been surfing really well. He's been actually surfing great heats, and it hasn't gone his way. You know, in the past it's happened before, but unfortunately this year he's having some bad luck.
Josh Kerr as well, sitting back on the rankings, had the loss to Kanoa Igarashi at the Rio Pro, so he's already out of this contest, hasn't made it past round 3. We expect big things out of Kersey. Potts, what's going on here?
Yeah, I don't know. I think exactly the same thing as what's happening. You know, it's funny because, I mean, he's been surfing really well, and yesterday when he paddled out against Kanoa Igarashi, I thought it was going to be a no-brainer for him. He looked casual, he looked smooth, he was doing some crazy little maneuvers, but ended up going down, so he's got to work that out.
And the guys that always get critiqued, former world champions, with a sleepy start again for Gabriel Medina, sitting 18th in the world. He had some early round losses, lost in round 5 to Margaret River in the round before the quarters, so he hasn't taken over the rankings like he's accustomed to.
Yeah, you know what? Kind of lost in the lineup. Watching him, you know, paddle into heats and trying to find his flow, it just hasn't happened. And unfortunately for him, you know, he's finally, you know, going to get back into it now, but he would have loved to come out and just fired away at those first few events.
As we check out the Jeep leaderboard, Gabriel Medina down to 18th in the world. The shaded surfers are already out of the contest with those ranking points already updated, and the ones that are still highlighted are in the draw. except for Mick Fanning there. As we flip the script again, you see more guys that are trying to really get higher up on the rankings. Flores, we just highlighted him, and he's already out alongside Josh Kerr.
Yeah, I mean, it's, you know what, 4 events down. These guys have already had their throwaways, so coming into Fiji, J-Bay, Tahiti, I mean, that's when they really got to focus and really start working on results. And they can. I mean, those guys generally surf good in those really heavy water waves, so looking for them to step it up.
The thing is, the focus on Medina, his comeback came at J-Bay last year. It feels like that round 2 performance that he had yesterday, Strider, it might be a little bit of a sign of fireworks coming for him to go all the way to take this event out.
Well, if he does as well as he did last year, once he got fired up, I mean, he was right there in the end at Pipeline to take a world title. I mean, there was a great, it was a long shot, but a possibility. So if he can get started this early, and who knows, he could just have it wrapped up by Pipeline.
So very interesting to look at those rankings since it's already event number 4 of the season. Coming up next, we'll look at the women's Jeep leaderboard to see who's in need of a major result. That's coming up next. Bon dia and welcome to Dawn Patrol here at the Rio Pro. It's Sunday morning and fans are just getting down to the beach because they got word that the call is on. We're going to finish round 4 for the best women surfers in the world. Checking out the waves, it looks pretty fun behind us as we've keep turning our shoulders around to see these little peaks popping up. Strider, you've been studying the maps on Surfline. How's it looking for today and the rest of the waiting period?
You know, right now we've got just a fun little swell easing up through today, but there's definitely some, shoulder, couple head high sets coming through as the tide pushes in. It's going to push onto the sandbar, probably pop up even a little more. So, that's why they called it on today. So I think that's why we're seeing the event getting started. I think the women are going to have a blast out there. I've seen some really good surfing going down. We're tracking a solid swell through, Tuesday through Thursday of next week. So we got plenty of swell on the way, and right now with what we have for today, you can see it kind of just rolling along there at 2 to 4 feet, which is plenty of surf out here on these little wedgy beach break. The women are going to have a blast on that, and it drops off on Monday a little bit, and then it just starts to ramp up. And as you can see, Wednesday, Thursday, it's going to be pumping. Wow. So we could be wrapping this thing up as early as Thursday, and the waves look really good. The winds look great. So, hopefully everything stays lined up, and we get what we need.
So excited to see that swell spike for later on in the waiting period. There's a couple of guys that love studying the maps. They're addicted to wind models and formulas to find good surf. It's Gig Salyers and Pete Mel to talk about the women's draw. There's a lot of women that are in must-win situations at this stage, Gigs.
Absolutely. Thanks, Joe. You make us sound like some mad scientists here in the booth, but we've spoken about the swell forecast. Peter Strada mentioning there that it is steady, it's going to hold, and there are some fun ramps in that, and do or die round 4. It's been good for the two Hawaiians so far, Malia Manuel and Tatiana Weston Webb getting through, but now, Laura Enova and Joanne DeFay must do the work, and Carissa Moores in this round as well.
Yeah, it's going to be a tough conditions, to be honest, out there. I mean, there's a couple high-quality waves, and it's going to be one of those days where you're going to have to be on those high-quality waves. I mean, if you're looking at Alessa Quizon and what she's been able to do, it's been a struggle for these girls because breaking into that top 5, top 6, when you've got the stacked, top end of the draw there with Sally, Stephanie, Courtney Conalog, it can be tough to break in there, and so you need to see quarterfinals and above. Laura Enover has just come off of one of her better results in a long time. So hopefully she can use that momentum. She's got a heat this morning. She's going to have to step it up to get back into that quarterfinals if you really want to stay in that top 10 picture. Nikki Van Dyke, unfortunately, she's sitting at the, kind of right on the cusp. But she's leading the QS rankings, so she's been able to kind of back herself up. In contrast, we have Coco Ho, who hasn't been able to back herself up on that qualifying series. So she's at a point right now in this season where she's looking at needing a big result, and it's critical. And Coco, you would think that this would be an event where we would see her kind of shine. Small in stature, but quick and compact and powerful, and she lost. And so it's going to be a tough road right now. She's going to have to come back to Fiji.
Absolutely. Looking at the sidebar there, the grey blocks mean that those are fixed points now. So Sage Eriksson out of the draw here in Rio de Janeiro along with Nikki Van Dyke. Opportunity for Bronte McCauley and Laura Enova to build some numbers here and get through to quarterfinals, get some breakthrough results in 2016. And Pete, you're looking at athletes, it is really difficult, and this tour is an exhibition of it, is how hard it is to perform at every event. Everyone's going to have a slump at some stage in their career, and even within each respective year.
And it's how you bounce back from those slumps. There's a point in the year where you kind of can't turn back, and you've got to figure it out how you got to get enough points to stay in that top 10 picture, or at least qualify on the qualifying series.
Absolutely. Even Carissa Moore, who has taken a world title last year, hasn't made a final this year. Let's talk about it all. We'll go to a break, and then we will get going here at the Rio Pro.
Out here, why don't you come?
Welcome back to the Rio Pro. You are watching Dawn Patrol. We're just moments away from sounding the first horn and sending out round 4 action for the top 17. We're already into round 4, so we have some key heats to watch before we set up the quarterfinals. Deputy Commissioner Jesse Miley-Dyer wants to keep the ball rolling today and get into the quarterfinals before we leave the beach, and we could go even further. Judge Appel with Potts and Strider as we look at some of these matchups on paper. Round 4 is always fun to watch. It's basically a result away from a keeper on tour. Joanne DeFay and Laura Enever are going to have a rematch from Margaret River, where Laura was able to take a big win.
Yeah, and if you remember correctly, this is where Joanne DeFay started the ball rolling with her Rookie of the Year campaign. She's feeling comfortable. She's surfing unbelievable. I think she's showing a lot more innovation than she has in the past, so that just says to me she's doing a lot of hard work. Laura Enever coming off a pretty lackluster year, finally got herself into a position to get a good result, maybe requalify. I mean, this young lady charges in big stuff, but she's got to produce some good high-performance surfing out here this morning.
Strider, when you look at Joanne DeFay and Laura Enever and the conditions you're seeing at Postinho today, are you leaning towards one surfer to take the win today?
No, I'm actually a little confused about this heat when I look at it, because I've seen Joanne and how much work she's putting in. I see her post-heat and pre-heat. Has game. She's working out. She's warming up. She's headspace. She's got her headphones. She's doing everything right. And we've seen the innovation happen from her. She's stepped it up. With Laura, it's just the X factor. We just don't know what she's going to do. She's looked good out here already, or down at actually at the other venue, and out here she's been looking good and having fun and on point. She's got a great headspace. She's kind of turned a corner, so to speak. So I'm kind of confused about this one. If I had to lean on somebody, I guess it would be Joanne DeFay, because of how much work she's put in and how regimented she is. But Laura has something right now I haven't seen out of her, and she looks confident.
Remember, Joanne DeFay won the U.S. Open when it was about 1 to 2 feet, solid in bad waves. Also, Laura Enever's won the Australian Open. Those are basically related events. They're both talented in beach breaks, and it's going to be fun to watch. Also, you think about Carissa Moore coming up in round 4. Well, she's won the Oz Open and the U.S. Open and this event, and a 3-time world champ. So she's obviously the focus. She has Bronte McCauley, who's been acting like a true wild card. We never know what to expect from her, because she's never rattled by the big name spots.
No, she's not, and quite rightly so. The Commissioner's office have given her another shot, and she's not disappointing. I mean, she's taken down some big heats. She's surfing very, very mature. Carissa Moore finds herself in this round 4, and it's going to be tough for her. She's not used to this kind of pressure. She's used to just breezing through her heats. So she's got a really fight on her hands here with Bronte McCauley, especially in the beach break situation, Strider, where it's a bit lucky dip.
Yeah, it's hers to lose, though, right? I mean, she is, like Joe said, the true champion that coming into this match. She's got to be the favorite. I think Bronte's going to, it's going to be a tough go for her. She's got that beautiful backhand that we've seen. I haven't really seen the front side. I haven't seen what she's got to mix it up, which will be great to see and maybe refreshing for the judges. So maybe they'll be leaning an eye that way, but I think it's definitely Carissa's to lose.
Yeah, definitely.
According to the conditions, Potts, and what you've seen so far, what types of maneuvers are going to be on offer today? Yesterday was all about an air show. What can we expect today?
Well, I expect innovation, especially from this first heat. I expect Joanne DeFay to be blowing the tail out of the back of the wave and sliding those fins around, maybe that rail grab nose pick that she's got going on. So I'm still looking for that innovation. I'm looking for the combination as well, those 2-turn combos that I was talking to Courtney yesterday in the afternoon, and she said two good turns, that's all I need, and it's exactly right. 2 solid turns is going to get you big points.
Really exciting round. Obviously, winner goes into the quarterfinals. The bottom half of the draw is really scary when you look at it, Strider. We keep getting these matchups early with Carissa and Steph. These are our world champions for the last decade. Yep. Is it going to happen again?
Very likely that it's going to happen. Fireworks are going to be going off. I saw these women out there doing what you talked about, the progressive maneuvers already this morning. The water's warm, so they're out there having fun, warming up early in the morning. And if we see those matchups go down today, we're going to see some fireworks. I feel like we're going to see the progressive surfing that we're looking for out of the women. They're all pumped up after watching what went down yesterday. Courtney talking about it yesterday, she was like, she's got that game. Remember, she's got all that above the lip, too. We haven't really seen it out of her because we had those big power move waves, but she knows how to get above the lip.
Let's hope it's going to be a day of progression here as round 4 is about to get started. Let's now send it to the booth for the call with Gig Salyers and Peter Mel.
Thanks so much, Joe. We're excited to get into the action here this morning, Pete. Looking at conditions over our shoulder here, it's glassy, it's translucent. There's those little skate bowls that we spoke about yesterday, and we saw through the early part of round 2 of the men this time yesterday, there was progression to offer. So we're hoping the girls go to those boundaries.
Well, I would agree. I think that it's an opportune time. This wave does allow for that, and it would obviously get the judges excited, and that's what it's all about, is getting